Hi Libra, welcome to your What Does Spirit Want Me to Focus On during Mercury Retrograde? What energies should I focus on during Mercury Retrograde? Okay, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to look at the energies for health and wellness, for family and friends, money and career, and last but definitely not least, love relationships. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us what energies would be beneficial for us to focus on during the Mercury retrograde. Revisit, rekindle, whatever, all the re's, all the RE's. Show us what are the energies we should focus on, and then clarify for us what it is you mean. Again, health and wellness, family and friends, money and career, and last but not least, love relationships. For Libra, during the Mercury retrograde. Okay, first coming out of the gate, as far as it goes with health and wellness, temptation. Okay, so with family and friends, we have firm foundation. With money and career, we have the waiting game. And Libra, with romantic love, we have sacral chakra. Wow. Okay, so now we're going to get some clarifiers. What deck do I want to use to clarify? We're going to clarify with the Good Tarot. Okay, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, thank you for showing us the energies that Libra should focus on as it relates to the Mercury retrograde. And show us, clarify for us, what is it about these energies that they should revisit or rekindle or any of that stuff. Show us clearly. With health and wellness, you have temptation. With family and friends, you have firm foundation. With career and money, we have the waiting game. And with love, we have sacral chakra. So show us, what is it that, clarify for us, why are these energies on the table? Okay, I'll pull 3 clarifiers on each energy and we'll take it from there. You've got 10 of Earth with the health and wellness, 10 of Earth. You've got 8 of Air. And you've got 4 of Fire. Okay, with family and friends, you've got Strength. And you've got Messenger of Air. And you've got 5 of Fire. Okay. With money and career, for the waiting game, you've got 10 of Fire. You've got the High Priestess. And you've got the Emperor. It's pretty strong energies to have right there. Okay, and in love, we've got the sacral chakra, and it's being clarified with the World, the Hermit, and the 4 of Earth. Okay. Just give me a second to look at these, and then we're going to take off into the reading itself. Okay, so in health and wellness, we start with the temptation card. This is the devil card. So this card represents addictions. It represents earthly attachments. It represents self-sabotaging thoughts, the mind games we play with ourselves, all that kind of stuff. So how's that relate to health and wellness? Health and wellness has to do with mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so I feel like it's being clarified with the 10 of Pentacles. That's your first clarifier that came out. So this is going to have to do with what's going on in your physical space. Okay, so I feel like what it's saying is, as far as your physical space goes, all's well. Okay? You're doing physically, Libra, what you need to do for your best physical health. With the Eight of Air, I feel like this is a clarifier for this, meaning that you have some issues with your attitude about things. Maybe you're attacked. Maybe you're worrying too much. The Eight of Air is the same as the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is falsely imprisoned. They're imprisoned, but only in their mind. So as far as your mental health goes, you're allowing your mind to limit you in ways that are not healthy for you. Only you're gonna know what that means, and we might figure it out as we walk through there. That it might come into a whole big story, but the mental thoughts that you are harboring, that you are allowing to occupy space in your brain, are limiting you. And I know you know this. Whenever you allow negative thoughts in your brain, it makes your brain think that there's something wrong that it needs to protect you from. So it releases, saw that, huh? So it releases chemicals into your body that help you either fight or run, fight or flight, okay? Anytime you're in stress, that's the chemicals that are being released. Where do those chemicals go? They go to your extremities. And what gets neglected? Your core organs get neglected. Your heart gets neglected. Your lungs get neglected. Your digestive system gets neglected. Your liver gets, all of that stuff gets neglected because your brain, because of the thoughts you're having, your brain thinks you're in stress. So it's getting you prepared to save yourself physically. So this is important to grab a hold of. Whatever you're doing in your mind, you're doing everything you can physically, right? You're doing the right things physically. Maybe you're exercising. Maybe you just started something to be more active than you have been. You're not sedentary. You're not just sitting around. But with your health and wellness in your mind, you're allowing negative thoughts. I know I talk a lot. It's asking you to release that and allow yourself to be in a state of bliss. Allow yourself to be connected with your higher self, your higher power, whether that's God, guides, your angels, your archangels, whoever it is that you talk to, whoever it is that you rely on. Whenever you do that, it's asking you to make that connection, okay? This last card I feel like is always the advice card, right? So we want to rekindle our connection with our higher power, to understand our worth, to understand our security, our safety, and all that other stuff. I feel like that is your message where you need to focus your energies for health and wellness. Once you make this connection, once you revisit, whether that's going to church, whether that's meditating, whether it's practicing yoga, whatever your spiritual practice is, okay? So Cheryl, why are you talking about a spiritual practice whenever it's the Four of Fire? Because that's the same as the Four of Wands, and that is the Twin Flame card. But we're talking about health and wellness. So if I ask God for a particular message, He's going to address that message. So the only time I'm in bliss is when I'm in utter alignment with my higher power. So the bliss card means alignment for me in health and wellness. So it's asking you to get back in alignment with your higher power. It's not about God versus Satan. That's not what it's about. It's about what is in your best interest for you. And again, no matter what that practice is for you, you know, some people just go out in nature and they can connect with their God, their guides, their angels. Whatever that practice is for you to get you in alignment, that's what they're asking you to revisit. revisit that. Take this retrograde period and really focus on revisiting that place in your life. Okay. So, family and friends. We're getting firm foundation. So it's funny that we get this card in this position for this particular reading, because this is about the root chakra. That's about family values, things that you grew up understanding about safety and security and all that in the world. So the focus is actually your long-held beliefs about how you show up in the world, about what's right, what's wrong, about what it takes to get your money, your sustenance, about all of that stuff. That's what this card is about. It's a firm foundation. And it looks like, since the first card coming out is strength, it looks like you have a firm foundation, okay? It may not be what you actually grew up knowing or learning. It may be that you have ventured away from things, traditions like that, and that you have strength. You have this, for me, this lion, right? She's in alignment. If she wasn't in alignment, she couldn't be in harmony with this lion, and this lion couldn't be in harmony with her. So she's in alignment with her higher power, and she's sure of what she knows. She's had experiences. No matter what she was taught growing up, she knows what she knows, right? But it looks like there might be some things for you that show up in your life. Maybe somebody you hadn't seen in a long time or whatever, or maybe this is kind of a new journey for you and with your family and friends, and somebody's going to come in and try to preach the old dogma to you, what you learned growing up. Why are you practicing yoga? That's not where God is. Why are you listening to tarot? That's evil. You know, there's so many things that certain people don't understand or don't agree with, and your experiences that put you where you are irrelevant to them. If it's not what you were taught growing up, then it's wrong. Okay? So it looks like somebody's going to be coming in, because during the retrograde, anything that reunions, anything that starts with an RE is likely to take place in retrograde. So it could be a parent, it could be an old classmate, it could be anybody that comes in and you have a reunion with them, and then this dogmatic stuff comes up, right? Here is your advice card, is the Five of Fire. So with the traditional tarot, the Five of Wands, which is what this would be, is about conflict and everybody having different opinions, right? In this particular deck, it's depicted a little bit differently. She doesn't look conflicted, right? Because she draws on the power of her higher self and of her guides and her angels and all that. That's where she gets her power. So again, I feel like it's telling you the same thing as with your own health and wellness. It's going to be the same thing with the family and friends during this 3-week period. People are going to be revisiting your life and maybe reiterating how you should be living. And this is saying, be at peace, revisit your own spiritual understanding, revisit your own spiritual experiences, and remain strong in those, because that is what has brought you to a firm foundation. That is what has been able to put you in alignment with your higher power to walk forward in a more productive way. So when it comes to family and friends, again, Your advice is the same. Revisit your connection with your higher power. Stay in alignment, whether that's yoga, whether that's sitting out in the woods for 3 days, whether it is sitting under a tree at 5 o'clock in the morning for 30 minutes, whether it's walking on a beach, whatever it is that connects you with that higher power, do that for the next, well, you're going to be doing it anyway for your own health and wellness, so it's going to apply in your family life too. So, here we are with career and finance, and you're getting the waiting game. So I feel like something is coming up. Maybe you were about to make a change. Perhaps you were about to send out your resumes and start a new job or something like that. So it's funny that this shows up, the waiting game, because if you read the article that I have underneath, it says this is not a time during the retrograde to start new jobs or anything like that. If you have to, then yes, because you need the income. But if you're thinking about leaving one thing and doing something totally new, it's not time to do that yet. It's time to play the waiting game for a little while. Let Mercury do what it has to do and wake up. See how it's like circling? Let it do what it has to do and then wake up so that things can get back on track. So take that time to revisit the issues, possibly, that you let go of to be able to move forward with whatever this new project is, okay? Say, for instance, if you were planning to leave your job and start your lifelong dream of owning your own company, and you do it right now, what's going to happen is whenever the computers start, crashing, they crash. When the computers start crashing, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's likely during the retrograde period, computers start crashing. The communications get all wonky. People miscommunicate. You might send an email to a wrong person, or whatever they say is not received by you the way that they intended it, or they're not receiving what you're saying the way you intended it. Things get wonky during retrograde. That article is real important to read because, like I did a video yesterday, or I don't know when this is going to air, but I did a video on Monday about knowledge is power. So if you go out and do that new thing right now, and these issues that you finally overcame to be able to talk yourself into go and do this, something starts going wrong, computers crash and all that, then you're backing up thinking, oh no, this is a sign I made a mistake. Oh my God, I don't need to do this. Okay, so I feel like it's telling you right now, while you're waiting for this retrograde period to pass, revisit those issues and remind yourself what you learned during these things that at one time had you weighed down. What did they teach you? How did you gain strength from them? And all that, right? This is the High Priestess card. So this is telling me that you are actually getting and receiving messages about this already. That there's something within you that's saying it's just not quite right. It's just not quite the right time yet. It's just not quite the right time yet. And possibly somebody is trying to push you to do it now. Maybe even your mind is trying to say, okay, but wait, I can get the lease on this building at 30% off of the normal lease, and they're going to sign it for a year. Read that article, okay? And I feel like your higher self is already communicating you, and you already have intuition about this, that it's just not the right time to take that step just yet. So your advice is the Emperor. So what does the Emperor do? The Emperor is the culmination of all the kings, Libra. This means you're resourceful, right? The King of Pentacles, he's resourceful, he's methodical, He really checks out things before he moves forward. He has systems in place and all that other stuff. He's not a fast mover. He's not a fast mover at all. So it's saying embody that. Embody that part of that king. The next is the King of Swords. He communicates intelligently. He's an intellectual person. He's not moved by his emotions. He doesn't let, oh man, I just want to do it now, because that is, I'm a real estate broker, and I don't practice a whole bunch anymore, but I had some clients at one time that were investors, and I would get so excited whenever I'd show them a piece of property, because it's like, this is perfect. It fit their formula. It was in a great location. It would be able to, they could flip it like that. I just knew it. And they would never get in a hurry about anything. They would say, you know what, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And we'll make our offer, whenever we're ready. We'll think about it. We're going to go look at the numbers. We're going to go figure all this out. Well, there's 5 people putting bids on it. That's okay. They would just say, that's okay. So they were that King of Swords mindset. We're going to look at the facts. We're going to make our decision based on that. We're not going to let our emotions drive this decision. Okay? We're not going to let the fact that 5 other people are trying to buy that house drive this decision. We trust that if that house isn't ours, then we're not going to get it. And the next one that we're going to get, the one that's right for us, is the one that's going to bring us the most money in the end anyway. So they were real good about that. So it's asking you to bring in that quality in this situation. Then there is the King of Cups. He's emotionally intelligent. Again, he's not driven by those emotions. He puts a lid on his emotions, not in an unhealthy way, in a way that he understands that it's good to lead with your heart, to lead in love and compassion. But whenever we act from emotion, we usually act hastily. Whether it's sadness, excitement, any of that stuff. If we do something when we're in an emotional state, it's usually a hasty decision and not beneficial. So it's asking you to bring in that aspect of yourself. You're the Emperor. Libra, this is, I know this is not your card. This is Aries. But what I'm saying is this is your advice to embody these qualities. So we did the Pentacles, the Swords, and the Cups, so the Wands. Is to remember your passion and remember that connection. There we go again with spirit. For me, wands are all about the spiritual connection that we have, because they're inspired. They're about inspiration and creativity and passion. And those things come as downloads straight from our spirit guides. So the wands is telling me that we need to, in this case, embody that again. Keep that connection open between you and your higher power, and follow that intuition that they're already giving you. Don't argue with it. Don't be as an air sign. Sometimes we think our way's the best way. We know what we're doing, and we do argue with spirit, but don't do that. This is saying don't do that. Okay, so in love, we're getting the sacral chakra. Okay, so the sacral chakra is where our creativity lies. It's where we birth things. This is in love. So it's being clarified with the world. Okay, so the world is saying that you're at the end of one cycle and about to move into another. The world says that whatever it is that you're coming out of, what you're going into next is not going to look anything like it. So if you're coming out of a string of bad relationships, this is saying that within the deepest part of yourself that what you're walking into is going to be beautiful. And it's going to be something that it's going to be birthed between you and another person. It's not going to be fast, right? Because birthing takes a long time. The gestation period is a while. So it's not coming in like gangbusters and about ready to just blow your life apart in such beautiful, magical ways. No, it's going to be slow moving, but it is part of the next cycle in your life. you're getting the Hermit card. So it's asking you again to revisit, look at that, revisit that place within you where you are so connected, because you're going to need to be connected in this new time in your life as far as love goes. So during the next 3 weeks, take that time to revisit who you are and what you want. And I say the next 3 weeks. Retrograde is going to be from October 30th through November 20th. So, but the effects start 2 weeks before and can last up to 2 weeks after. Where relationships go during retrograde is, again, it's not a good time to start a brand new relationship. You may have an old relationship come in to revisit, and it might be an ex who wants to come back and revisit the idea of dating you. And that could actually end up being, if it's a revisit, that could actually end up being this long-term thing that happens, and it shows up in your life in a whole different way than it was before, right? Because you've done your work, they've done their work. It could be if somebody from your past comes back and wants to revisit a romantic relationship with you, it could be to close out that cycle so that you can finally have closure with that person. So that's why this right here is going to be so important at this time, is staying within, don't go within to where, don't go into hermit mode and not interact with this person who's trying to come back into your life if they are. But what it's saying is be connected to your guides and be aware of yourself, and don't go within and be in connection with your higher self. Your advice is going to be to release. This is the Four of Earth, which is the same as the Four of Pentacles. Whether it is an old relationship being revisited that will look totally different, then you're going to need to release the old fears, the fears of the way it used to be, the ideas, the thoughts of how things were, the heartbreak and all that other stuff. You're going to have to release that. This is asking you to open up, release. If it is something that's coming into closure, coming back in so that you can start it over and then have closure, then it's asking you're going to be releasing that relationship. You're going to be finally having closure on it. So whether it is if there's somebody brand new coming in that you've been manifesting, you've been, birthing this within you, that you're ready for the love of your life to come, this would not be the time to start that relationship. If you get introduced to somebody or whatever, keep it real light. It's just not the time to start it, because whatever gets started brand new during retrograde, according to that article, normally does not have a long-term effect. Because whenever Mercury wakes up again and starts moving in the right direction again, and then all of those things that it governs are back on track, everything changes, the communication changes, all that stuff. So it's a very good article. Okay, so but if it's an old relationship coming in, it's either going to be there for you to release it, or for you to release the relationship, or for you to release the fear of it repeating the old relationship. Okay, I hope I made all that clear. I hope you enjoyed this reading. We're going to do a PS real quick and then we're out. And let me know in the comments how this makes sense in your life. And if you're not already a subscriber and this has resonated with you, please do subscribe. Hit that little bell notification thingy too. And like and share and comment and all that stuff. If you're already a subscriber, I thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Y'all just really blow my mind. Hang on, let me grab that. I can't take it because I didn't even pray yet. I was yakking my mouth. Okay. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us the PS for Libra as far as this Mercury retrograde goes. Show us the PS for Libra. as far as this Mercury retrograde goes. We thank you so much for clear and concise messages and love, light, and prosperity. Okay, P.S. Libra. This is like the final judgment, or so whenever you see this in relationship to this reading, and what else we have with the Mercury retrograde is maybe it's time to revisit some of the judgments you've had about yourself. Remember, I said your mind is limiting you, and it's actually the thoughts you're allowing to the thoughts that you're allowing to take up residence in your mind are causing some problems with your health and wellness. So this is saying there's some things to think about. So possibly this judgment card means let's go back and revisit those judgments, whatever those judgments are about ourselves or the people in our lives. We need to revisit that, because it is your time to rise and shine. It is your time to reunite with yourself, to rebirth yourself again, to take this time, this period during the retrograde, and rebirth yourself all over again in your connection with, in your alignment with your higher self. There's victory. You have victory in this whole process, okay? And here's the thing, all of these wands, they're about passion, and they're about inspiration and all that stuff. But remember, I said, and creativity, for me, that's all direct downloads from spirit, right? So you have the wands in three of the 4 areas that we talked about. So your connection with your higher power is very important to you, and you likely have, for whatever reason, gotten caught up in daily life or whatever, and you're not practicing your spiritual practice the way that you normally have in the past. And so, but you're going to get victory over that during the retrograde from now through November 20th, because you're going to, because of this message, because they're calling you to get in alignment again, you're going to have victory in that and over all of this. You're going to be walking in victory. That's so awesome. And use this as a time to study yourself, to pay attention to the details. If this waiting game you have in career and finance is about needing to wait until retrograde is over before you actually go sign a lease on that new building, take this time to study these things that you feel like you have let go of, to allow yourself the courage to go start this new project. Go back and study all those issues that you felt like you let go of, and make sure that you did let go of them, and maybe look at what else there is. Ask God, your angels, your archangels, is there anything I was missing? Is there something else I need to know? Do I need to revisit anything as far as this is concerned? So Libra, that's your Mercury retrograde Knowledge is Power reading, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments as to how this plays out in your world, and I'll check you next time. Have a super duper day. Bye.